Hola, buenas tardes. Here we go. So I'm going to try to put a positive spin, a humorous positive spin on this. Here goes. So, when you wake up in the morning, let's say something happens, this ordinarily would send you into a panic. Or the opposite. But it would make you feel frustratedly blank. Frustratedly blank. Frustratedly blank. Let's say you wake up, you finally get out the door. You're already maybe running a minute or two later than usual. Okay, what's going to happen? Oh, look, I have a tire that's flat. Or it's this close to being flat, okay? Okay, here's where I'm going to tell you what to do. Go against the grainness. Be like Stephen Wright after a drug hit, more like an avalanche of drugs. He is in a states of numbed outness. With a tiny sprinkle of lurch going, Think numbed outnesses and a tiny sprinkle of lurch going, But you're going to pre-sidesteply opt out, okay? Pre-sidesteply opt out. Pre-sidesteply opt out. Remember that. How are you going to pre-sidesteply opt out becoming frustratedly blank? You are going to imagine Stephen Wright, the comedian, after a huge, humongous drug hit. I don't know how to say it. An avalanche of drugs. He is so numbed outnessly numbed outnessed. He is so numbed outnessly numbed outnessed. He is so numbed outnessly numbed outnessed. He is going to be immunely immune to that flat tire that awaits him, as in, yes, you're going to have to stop at a gasolinera. You're going to have to fill up your tire, no? And then when you get to work, but you're going to have a reason why you're late for the first time ever. You're not going to have to make something up about you overslept. Or maybe you actually overslept. Well, now you have a better reason. You had a flat tire. And if the tire was this full of air, now it's flat. You can tell them I had a flat tire. I had to stop, put air in my tire. And by the way, I probably should leave work an hour early so I can go to a service station and get this looked at. Maybe they can patch it versus tomorrow morning. Let's say it's a Friday morning. Maybe I can get it looked at versus needing to get a new tire tomorrow morning, early Saturday morning, at a tire service center, service business. Maybe I can get my tire patched for $5 versus spending $100 or more on a tire. Because, you know, at last minute they're not going to have any sales when I need a tire. And by the way, getting one tire when you have 3 alternate brands of tire, because now your tire place is going to be closed. Okay, ixnay, just say, I am not going to pay a lot for that muffler. I am not going to become blank. Say, remigo la palabra tupset or rupset. I am not going to become blank. I am not going to become frustratedly blank. I'm going to be like Stephen Wright after an avalanche of drogas. Completely numbed outnessly numbed outness. With a sprinkle of lurch going, oh. With that little tiny, that little subtle half eye closed eye roll, like, oh. With that little tiny eye roll, you can be like, oh. Because here's the thing, you have to think like a comedian. You have to find the humor. Like, think to yourself, for the first time ever, I actually have a reason why I'm late to work versus having to make up a lame joke like, I couldn't get out the door, I had to grease the door frame today. I couldn't get out the door. I had to grease the door frame because You're making a joke that you maybe you've put on a few pounds over the winter. Let's say it's March or... But that joke's not going to work if you have a body figure like Cheryl Teagues or Twiggy and your co-worker has a couple 100 pounds to lose or 100 pounds to work off. See what I mean? It's very, very difficult. This is very, very difficult. Let's go back immediately to what I was saying. How do you pre-sidesteply opt out of becoming frustratedly blank? How do you pre-sidesteply opt out of becoming upsetly blank? So you're making a rupset or tupset. How do you do it? I just said it. If I was teaching kindergartners, I'd say, you children need to go consult your doctor about Ritalin medication. If you could not repeat back to me what I just said, I'm going to stop this video. Because I have the equation. I said, if I was teaching a room full of third graders, or no, kindergartners, I'd say, if you children cannot repeat back to me what I just literally said, you all need to go see your physician about Ritalin medications after school. After class, go talk to your doctors about Ritalin medication prescriptions. You should be able to repeat back what I said. Pre-sidesteply opt out. But I wouldn't talk to third graders nor kindergartners like a drill sergeant, which is not how I'm speaking now. See what I mean? I'm not speaking like a drill sergeant. He'd be screaming everything. He'd be screaming. I have to talk with a little bit of force to get my ideas out. Someday I can talk very gently in a planet that made any sense. I can do so now. Again, in a planet that made any sense at all, I could talk very, very gently, very calmly. Did it ever occur to anybody, some people get so heated up, they get so fired up talking about things and quote things, end quote, or actual things of meaningfulness. Because it takes a little force of energy to get your ideas out. Someone giving a grandstand in Congress, what's that called? I can never think of it. They're not necessarily angry. They're not necessarily angrily angered. It takes a little bit of force of energy to get it out, to get your ideas out. You don't want to talk to people like you're screaming at them. You just, if you have a lot of creative imaginativeness and ideas of creative, soulful, spiritual depth, of soulful, spiritual intelligence, and you have a sensibility for humorousness, not only a sensibilities for humor, not only a sense of humorousness, you have a sensibility for humorousness. Not only a sense of humorousness, you have a sensibility for humorousness. Which is what we all need to have. Kindergarten, first grade, second grade for sure. We should have been working on developing those deeper, creative imaginativeness capacities and refining them into skill. Not so you can be Dana Carvey, but so you can be someone with a sensibility for humorousness. Even if you're a plumber, you might, as in you very well might, as in may or may not, benefit tremendously from having a sensibility for humorousness if you're a plumber, or a bus driver, or a train conductor. Who doesn't follow this? Who follows? Who doesn't follow this? Who follows? Who doesn't follow this? Some might say you need a sensibility for humorousness, and at minimum you need a sense of humorousness, a sense for humor. Even more so if you're a plumber, a bus driver, or a train conductor in my precise examples. It's just that you're not paid to get on stage and make humorous observations like a comedian does. That doesn't mean you don't need that sensibility for finding the humor in your cuadrado de existencia, in your slice of that word that rhymes with strife. Just kidding. No, it does rhyme with strife, doesn't it? See, remember the Bible today, strife. In your slice of blank comedy drama or drama, you need to have a sensibility for humorousness. Not only a sense of humorousness, humor. If you're a parochial elementary school maestra, instructor. If you're a non-parochial elementary school maestra, instructor, you need a sensibility for humorousness like a colon cancer patient needs an enema or needs cancer drugs. You need it like you need rain when you're thirsty and there's no water in the desert. And you actually have a thermos to fill, or a canteen. Does anybody not see what I'm saying? Like, let's go back. I like to finish with what I started with. When you wake up and you have a flat tire, or it's as close to flat as you could possibly visualize it. Look at it, like you observe. Observably, visualizely observe. Are you going to become upsetly blank? Are you going to become a frustratedly blank? Or are you going to pre-sidesteply opt out? Or are you going to pre-sidesteply opt out? Or are you going to pre-sidesteply opt out? By imagining Stephen Wright, the comedian, after an enormous avalanche of drugs. So numbed outlessly numbed outness. And a sprinkle of lurch going, But with a slightest humorousness, you can get through it. Your blood pressure doesn't have to go up that much. If it does, you won't know. Who's got a sphygmomanometer in their arm and then would work? I hope it's not you. I hope it's not anybody. I defy anybody to defy my rational, intelligent logic. You do not want a sphygmomanometer at the top of a roller coaster, do you? You don't want to know that you are 6 degrees of separation from a heart attack, do you? Once you got the goddamn drop, your blood sugar's going to dip into orthostatic hypotension the second you reach the bottom of that drop. What's the difference? You don't need to know that you are, according to WebMD, on the verge of a heart attack. When you at the top of Raging Bull or whatever roller coaster. And then you went, whoa, now you're in orthostatic hypotension. All right, I'm going to end this. You went from 2 systolic points away from a heart attack area, red zone. Now you're in orthostatic hypotension. You're in danger of low blood pressure collapse. But it was a great ride. We had fun. I'm going to end this. Have a good day.